to Deer Lion Yoga. I'm Becky, and in today's flow, we will be working on the legs. So the flexibility of the legs, the strength of the legs, and specifically the hamstrings. You'll need 2 blocks if you have them, and also a strap, but if not, I'll offer modifications, so don't worry too much about that. So let's go ahead and get started. So to begin today, we'll start with some simple neck stretches. So go ahead and take your right ear and bring it down to your right shoulder. Breathing into the left side of your neck. Taking your left hand and maybe you reach your fingertips out and touch the ground. And then maybe you take your right hand, bring it behind your back, and you grab your left arm with your fingers. And then you can play around with your head here and just find where the stretch is maybe the most intense, or maybe just whatever you need today. Good, and then releasing and bringing your left ear to your left shoulder. And then taking your right fingertips, bringing them towards the ground. And breathing into the right side of your neck. And then taking your left hand, wrapping it around, grabbing onto your arm. This intensifies the stretch. And then again, just playing around with your head and finding where it feels best to you. It's all about experimentation. Good, and then releasing. Good, so taking your right leg and bringing it out to the side, so then your left leg is in. So your left foot is pressing into your right side here. And then taking your right forearm, placing it onto the ground if you're able. You could always rest it on your leg as well. And then inhale the left arm up and exhale over. So you're looking up under your armpit and you're bringing your armpit to face the ceiling as much as you can. So you're opening up here. So feeling a stretch all along your left side. Breathing into this, opening up. Good. Then inhaling up, start to reach your hand away. So coming back to your right forearm, reaching your fingertips away, drawing your shoulder away from your ear. Good. Reaching a little bit more. Good. Pressing your left fingertips into the ground, inhaling, coming up, swooping the right arm up overhead, lifting the hips, lifting the arm, feeling a stretch along the right side of your body. Look towards your fingertips. Exhale down. 2 more times. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. 1 more time. Inhaling up. Exhale down. Good. So switching legs, bringing the right in and left out. Left forearm to the ground. Inhaling, right arm up. Exhale, bringing it over the ear. Opening up here, so bringing your armpit towards the ceiling as best you can. Looking out under your armpit. Breathing into the right side of your body. Good, so releasing, and then we're bringing our right fingertips, drawing them away from the body, bringing the right shoulder away from our ear, coming back to that left forearm. Good. Releasing, planting our right fingertips to the ground. Inhaling up, lifting the hips. Left arm swoops overhead. Exhale down. 2 more times. Inhaling up. Exhale down. Good. 1 more time. Inhale up. Exhale down. Good. So bringing both feet together into a butterfly pose. So bringing the feet as closest to the body as you can. And then your hands can wrap around your feet and you can press into your legs with your elbow. Or you can just simply walk your hands out. So whichever option you would like. And then again, just you can experiment between the two of them and just notice maybe the difference that you feel in your body between the two. Good. So bringing the legs together and then rolling over onto your mat to your hands and your knees for a tabletop position. So knees are stacked under the hips, fingers and wrists stacked under the shoulders, fingers spread wide, pressing into the ground with all of the mounds of your hand. So all of the mounds here, all of your fingertips pressing into the ground, and then squeezing the ground. So pulling the mat back toward you, almost as if you're palming a basketball. Good. Inhale, letting your belly drop, lifting your gaze, pressing the heart forward. Cow pose. Exhale, rounding through the spine, drawing your belly button up and looking towards your belly button. Inhale, coming through to cow. Exhale through to cat. Inhale through to cow. 1 more exhale to cat. Inhale back to a neutral spine tabletop. Tucking the toes here, pressing into the ground, lifting your hips, coming into a downward facing dog. Start to pedal out the feet here. The left and then the right. And then finding stillness. Inhaling, coming up to your tiptoes. Exhale, coming down, bringing the heels of the feet towards the ground. Inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, bringing the heels towards the ground. 1 more time. Inhaling to the tiptoes. Exhaling the heels towards the ground. Walking your hands back to your feet. So you're at the back of your mat. And then hanging heavy here. So grabbing either elbow. And then swaying side to side. Good. Taking your hands back to the mat, walking back to the downward dog. Taking a bend to your knees, lifting your hips up towards the sky just a little more, and then straightening your legs, leaving the hips where they are. So doing that just a couple more times, bending the knees, lifting the hips, and then straightening the legs. Good. 1 more time, bending the knees, lifting the hips, straightening the legs. Good. Inhale the right leg forward. We're coming up into warrior 1. So inhaling the arms up. So back leg is straight here. Toes are slightly pointing outward. Your right foot, your toes are pointing forward. Bending the knee so your knee is aligned over your ankle and arms are up overhead. Good. Exhaling, bringing the hands down, stepping back, downward dog. Left leg. Inhale, left leg forward, rising up, warrior one. Exhale, sweeping the arms down, stepping back, downward dog. Good. Dropping your knees down. You can bring them as wide as the mat, falling into a child's pose, bringing your forehead to the earth. We have buttercup today. Good, so staying here just for another breath. Coming out of child's pose, tucking your toes and coming right back up to the downward dog. So working on the legs here, so moving through this again with another variation. So coming onto the tiptoes, and then exhaling, heels down. And maybe you notice that your body's starting to open up more. Maybe your feet can come closer to the ground. Inhaling to the toes, exhale, bringing the heels towards the ground. So you're really pressing into the ground with your hands this whole time. So taking some of the weight off your arms by pressing away, lifting the hips. So one more time, inhaling up to the toes. Exhale, bringing the heels towards the ground. Good. So then we're walking the hands back to the feet, hanging heavy here again. So not worried too much about any alignment in this pose, not worried about your back staying straight, just really hanging heavy. A sloppy forward fold. Swing side to side. Walking the hands back out, downward dog. Good. So bending the knees, lifting the hips, straightening the legs. Taking 2 more of those at your own pace. So when you lift the hips and then straighten the legs, see if you can keep your hips where they were when you had your knees bent. Good. From here, take the right leg, stepping it forward on an inhale. Rising up, warrior one. From here, we'll move into our pyramid pose. So straightening your front leg, step the back leg forward just a little bit. So taking your arms and bringing them behind your back, you can grab either elbow or you can do reverse prayer. Making sure your hips are facing the front of the room so they're staying square here. Taking a deep inhale, lengthening up, and then exhale, start to forward fold. So you're folding over, hinging at the hip. You're drawing your right hip back. Keeping the hips square. And then you can keep your hands here, so keeping the back long. Or you can release your hands and bring them to the ground. Or you could take 2 blocks and place them on either side of your foot for your hands. So both legs are straight. Really feeling a stretch in the hamstrings here. Good. Bringing a micro bend to your front leg, bringing the hands to your hips, and then rising up. Sliding that back foot back just a little bit to sink into our warrior one again. Exhale, bringing the hands, framing the foot, stepping back to our downward dog. Good. So left side, bringing the left foot forward, rising up, warrior one. Straightening that front leg, scooting this back foot up a little bit, moving into pyramid pose. So both legs are straight. Your right foot is still pointing slightly outward. And then your feet are spaced a little bit apart for balance. So almost like you're on train tracks. You don't want them perfectly aligned or you might lose your balance. And then taking your hands again, placing them behind your back, keeping your hips squared towards the front of the room, taking a deep inhale, and then exhale, start to hinge at the hips, folding over, keeping the spine long, and then releasing the hands, if you'd like, to the ground or blocks, coming closer to your leg. Breathing here, breathing into the hamstrings all along the back of your left leg. Good. Taking one more breath here. Taking a micro bend to your left leg, bringing the hands to the hips. Inhaling, rising up. Scooting that back leg back a couple inches, sinking into your warrior one. So pressing into the ground with both of your feet, firm foundation, energy drawing out of the fingertips. Exhale, bringing the hands to the ground, stepping back, downward dog. Good. Taking a full breath here. So inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Dropping down to the knees, swinging your feet around. We'll make our way onto our back. So you may want a strap here if you have one, just keeping it handy. Lowering all the way onto the back. Good. So we'll start by bending the left leg, bottom of the left foot on the ground, and bringing the right leg straight up. So your foot is flexed here to begin, and then pointing it, and moving through flexed and pointing it. So your arms are just resting on the ground to the side of you. And then drawing circles with your foot left and right. Good. And then taking a strap, and you can wrap it around the ball of your foot like this, and taking the strap in your hand. Or if you don't have a strap, or if you would just like to not use one, you can wrap your hands around your calf. So intertwining your fingers and keeping the leg as straight as you can, drawing it towards your body. You can also wrap your peace sign fingers around your big toe with just your right hand, drawing your shoulder towards the ground. And we'll just hold here for a couple breaths. Good. Releasing the hands back to the side of the body, pointing your toe, and start to pulse your leg. So forward and back, forward and back. And then bringing it down, placing it on the bottom of your foot on the ground and moving to the other side. So left leg straight up, starting with the flex foot, and then pointing and moving through those motions at your own pace. Drawing circles with the feet. Both ways. And then taking a strap, wrapping it around your foot, or grabbing the calf or the peace sign fingers to the big toe. Keeping your leg as straight as you can, drawing it towards your body. Breathing into the sensations you're feeling. Good, just a couple more breaths here. Releasing, leaving your leg up into the air, pointing your toes, start to pulse it. Forward and backward, forward and backward. Good, and then bringing your bottom of your foot to the ground to meet beside the right. Bringing your knees into your chest, giving them a hug, rocking side to side gently. Good, and then we'll end with just feet up the wall. So you can find a wall, or you can go ahead and grab a block. So I'll show you both. We did this in an earlier series, but I'll go ahead and show you again. So taking a block, you can just lift your hips, slide it under, place it at your sacrum, and you'd probably want it on the lowest setting here. And then you just simply lift your feet straight up and just hang out here. So you can hang out here, or you can play around with movement for a bit before finding stillness. Just feeling the lightness of your legs, feeling the blood return to your heart, flowing down the body. So just hanging out there. Or if you would like to use a wall, in my experience, the easiest way to get your butt as close to the wall as possible is to start on the side and then simply just lowering down and then turning your body so that your feet are up the wall. And so this one is great because you don't need any props or anything. And you can just hang out here. And so we'll just stay here about 30 seconds more. And then we'll end today's short flow. However, I encourage you to hang out here 5-10 minutes, whatever you have time for. And this is something I like to do, sometimes just even reading a book right before bed. You can even lay in your bed with your feet up the wall. Good. And then coming out of the pose wherever you are to end today's practice, or maybe you just stay there for 5 or 10 more minutes. Coming back to a cross-legged simple seat, ending with 3 breaths together, bringing the hands to the heart, closing your eyes if you'd like, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. May the light in me honor the light in you. Until next time, namaste.